All right, hello. Welcome back to the stream. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I kept you on pause for a second. I was running around doing some stuff before the stream. But anyway, yeah, so yesterday in my surprise stream, I got started on this Madness system, and the Madness system is, again, it's an endgame system for GUNFORGED that is designed to make the game harder, but also designed to give players something more to work towards after they beat the game. Because again, the problem was that there was no reason, once you get good at the game, and once you unlock a bunch of meta upgrades from the upgrade tree, there's no reason to go back and play the dungeon level, for instance. And that's because it just becomes too easy. And so the Madness system that I'm coming up with is a way to put the players through all those levels again, but also make the game harder incrementally, up to a certain number of Madness tiers. So that's what we're working on today. My plan is to hopefully get most of these done, these Madness items done, and get that all working in game. And this morning I was actually working on the actual Madness table here. I just call it anything that's interactable in the hub, I'm calling a table. It's not actually a table, but I call it a Madness Unlocks table. And there's a little imp guy who's standing on this little perch, kind of like a parrot. And he's going to show up and he's going to give you a good what for, and that's where you're going to spend your Madness points. But the plan is that he is actually going to be invisible until you unlock the first Madness tier. And so you unlock the first Madness tier by, of course, beating the normal difficulty of the game all the way through. So you have to beat each of the levels at least one time. After you do that, the game is going to detect that. It's going to spawn the imp in, and it's going to play a little cinematic. So let me show you. I've got some cinematic structure set up here. And let's see. So let's just assume that I've beaten the game for the first time. It's going to show me my intro cinematic. Testing, yo, haha. So he's going to basically just give you an overview here to coax you to interact with him, and then you're going to be able to go up and activate it. Right now, this cinematic is just looping because I'm testing it, but anyway, that's what's going on. So what I want to do on this stream is I want to get a bunch of sequencing in the right place, get all these triggers in place so that the cinematic triggers at the right time. It saves the cinematic data to the save file so that it doesn't show again. And of course, I also want to, there's a couple of sequencing issues that I have to consider. So for example, like there's a victory overview screen that's shown when you win a game, when you win a run. So I have to make sure that that sequence works where it shows you the victory overview screen. And then there's another thing that I thought of here too. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. Okay, so there's a victory overview screen. Once that victory overview screen goes away, then it should show that cinematic if applicable. So anyway, there's a lot to do, but before I get into it, I want to remind everyone that GUNFORGED is coming out on the 17th of February. So we are just a little over 2 weeks away. 2 weeks and a day, right? It's Monday. So I think the 17th is a Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. I never... Oh no, it's a Monday. Okay, never mind. So 2 weeks from today. And so yeah, go ahead and wishlist that if you would, please. Very much appreciate that. And also, I also have my Udemy courses available for purchase. That's another great way to support me if you're not especially interested in GUNFORGED. So yeah, all the ways you can support me are linked below, and I very much appreciate all of the support. All right, let's get right into it. Hello, Luca. Yes, 14 days left, that's right. Hello, Perseverance, welcome back. I tried your demo, it's good, but somehow I find the initial gun you use a bit slow, and I don't know if it's just me, but yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, the initial guns are not supposed to be good. They're supposed to be just something that you start with, and then you are supposed to upgrade them at the table. There's also a meta upgrade that allows you to customize your starting guns, so you don't have to stick with those forever. You can customize your guns out of any of the parts that you have unlocked if you've got that meta upgrade. Hello, Maikun Dev. Thank you so much for the €2. Very much appreciate that. Very generous, and welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. Hello, Polaris. Thank you, thank you. Welcome back. Hello, Splat. Welcome back to you as well. Antime or Antime. Hi, your content is amazing. Thank you. I'm trying to pick up Godot after working with Unity for a while, and I'm struggling a bit with the node system, but your tutorials and devlogs really helped me get started. Thank you, yeah. And if I may, I might point you in the direction of my C# Udemy course, which is linked below. So you can definitely check that out if you're interested in maybe a more comprehensive introduction to Godot or more comprehensive project in Godot. But yeah, I'm glad that you're finding the stuff that I have out there helpful. Good morning, Christopher. Welcome back. I'll learn with Godot, yes. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I want to do here. Oh, GD script. I see. Yeah, gotcha. So this cinematic here that's being shown, let me think about this. So I need to make this sequence correctly. So there's a couple of tricky things. I'm trying to build this as robustly as possible. So if I start the game and I have the conditions met to unlock this, let me think. Okay. So the victory overview screen, let's go ahead and look at that. I think that's shown in the Run Statistics Manager victory overview screen. Yeah, so this, if level equals hub and should show victory. Should show victory. Where's this at? I might end up moving this, honestly. So what I've done is I've done some refactoring here. I'm kind of coordinating all of the things that I need to show the player inside of this hub room script, which is nice because I have everything here. And I actually created a state machine for showing all the different tutorials. So there's an intro cinematic for when you first start the game. And then there's this Madness cinematic that I'm looking at making right now. But then there's also a controls tutorial. But then there's also the victory overview screen. And yeah, that's, let's see. So I think what I can do is, let's do this. I'm going to move this victory overview screen to the hub level instead. So public static bool should show victory. I'm just going to make this forward that should show victory here. So that's going to help me, and then I'll move this victory overview screen. Emit victory overview shown. Yeah. So I think I probably don't need this. I can get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of remaining player gold. Victory screen set gold amount. Remaining player gold. Okay. Where is this remaining player gold? Set. Set should show victory. I think I can just do this. Public static int remaining player gold. So I'll do that. So now I have the pieces of data that I need. I'm going to go ahead and grab this. Yeah, this is going to work better. So I go to my hub room now, and I'll create a state for victory overview. So the nice thing, so the reason I'm using a state machine is because for all these different UI screens is because I can show one thing at a time, and then I can send the state machine back to the initial state, and then it can run through all the condition checks again to determine which screen it needs to show next. And because this is ordered as a series of else if statements, I can control what order the things are shown in, but it also works if there are certain things that shouldn't be shown. So if I should show the intro cinematic but shouldn't show the controls tutorial, then it's going to show that first, and then it's just going to skip. It's going to stop. So I think what I'll do is I'll do cinematic state machine.add states state victory overview. Enter state victory overview. And I'm going to probably need to do a demo overview as well, but let's just do one thing at a time here. Let's just do one thing at a time. So let's see. Private void state victory overview. Private void enter state victory overview. Okay, so victory screen, we're gonna put the victory screen in there. We'll do run statistics manager dot remaining player gold. Where is this set? Set should show victory. That's being set at the wave manager, so this is going to be set before the hub room is entered, so that's great. On victory screen closed. Let's go ahead and do that. Private void on victory screen closed. My brain automatically went like public static void main string args. I have Java PTSD. I mean, that's kind of how you start a C# application too. But obviously you don't need to do that in this context because Godot handles all that initialization for you. Set should show, so this is correct. So emit victory overview shown. I need to pass this in. Why do I need to pass this in? Victory overview shown. Okay. On victory overview shown. Okay. So this would be run statistics manager dot remaining player gold. I'm gonna go to my run statistics manager here and I'm just gonna listen for this actually. So I'm gonna get rid of this. Well, before I forget. Game events dot instance dot victory overview shown plus equals on victory overview shown. On victory overview shown. We'll just do int discard. We're going to set remaining player gold equals 0. Or we'll do this. Remaining player gold equals 0. I'm supposed to start sending out review codes of the game today. I may still do that, but I'm kind of wanting to just quickly get this madness system done and publish it so that if any reviewers happen to get to it, they can mention that. But I might also be safe just starting to send out review codes and then following up with a release. I don't know. We'll see. I'm on a very tight timeline here. False. Okay. So victory screen, cool. So I'm going to go back to enter state victory overview. That's fine. On victory screen closed. Okay, we'll get rid of this. There we go. Oh, I need to show the level unlock message as well. Okay. I'm going to need to make sure all of this works. That's going to be annoying, but we'll get rid of all this. Do I need this current level anymore? Is hub level? Oh yeah, I do. Has graveyard win. This is going to be a lot. Okay. Yummers, I should eat dinner today. Thank you, Snup Bill, for the message, for the IDR 20,000 as well. Very much appreciate that. That's very generous. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I have so much that I need to get rid of here. Oh, man. Has graveyard win? I don't remember. Let's just turn that off. Run statistics manager. We don't need the level unlock screen anymore. We don't need the demo end screen. Shoot. I'm just going to move all this to the hub level. This is going to be much easier if I just get rid of all this. So I'm basically just going to copy and paste those things over. Show demo over screen. Okay, all right. This is turning into quite the whatchamacallit. Okay, so I need at least 2 more states in the hub here. Cinematic state machine dot at, this is not even a cinematic state machine anymore, because I need to coordinate all these things happening. So let's see, state level unlocked, enter state level unlocked. I'm gonna really need to test this because I'm uprooting all this stuff. Okay, so state victory overview, state machine. This is nice though, because every state body in here, every state method body is just change state to state initial. So again, all I'm doing is I'm just setting the state machine to loop back to the initial state where it's going to recheck all the conditions. and then I can just control the ordering in which things happen. So the idea is that, let's say I beat a game, I'm going to show the victory overview screen, I may show the level unlocked screen, or I may show the Madness cinematic. So all of those things just need to be coordinated so they don't happen at the same time. And that's why I'm using this system here. So now I need to do private void enter state level unlocked. Private void leave state level unlocked. On victory screen closed. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll copy these things over. It's gonna be a little bit messy, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine. So has dungeon wins, we got those done. Can we import this? Using game.data.enum. Why is that not working? Level is a namespace, but it's used like a type. Oh. So I need to do this then. Data.enum.level. Okay, this needs to go in here. Oh my goodness. Okay. Cinematic state machine.add states, state demo over, enter state demo over. So if show intro cinematic, we'll show that first. The Madness cinematic, we're probably going to want to show intro cinematic first. Get rid of this to do because I'm in the process of developing that. Okay. Else if oh boy. Demo end screen. Is there a way that I can know when this is done? I don't have any. Goodness, there's a lot going on here. Okay. To do, need to listen for demo close. So we'll just mark that as something that I need to do. This on victory screen closed really shouldn't be here. What I should be doing is changing that state to state initial. So what I should be doing in here is doing cinematic state machine.update. So I just advance the state machine. all of this stuff here, unlock level unlock screen. So I need this. So enter state level unlocked. We're gonna do that. Unlocked level. So let's do this. Let's create a static variable for this. Private static data.enum.level nullable unlocked level. All right, so that should fix that. And the condition is we'll just keep this stuff in here. All right. So this needs to happen first. Else if unlocked level is not equal to null, then we're going to do cinematic state machine dot change state. I'm going to rename this actually. Let's do that later. State level unlocked. So we're going to advance to that. State level unlocked. Enter state, that's going to do this. We've got the unlocked level dot value. So in here I can say unlocked level back to null, which is important. I could also do that when leaving the state, but that's fine. Okay. Enter state demo over. All right, so these checks need to happen here so we can actually set the unlocked level. They can't be set here. I'm going to create a new method in here. We'll call it, do I want to put it up here somewhere? I'll put it down here. Private void check level unlocks. To do, need to account for madness tier. So this is just checking the normal difficulty dungeon wins and graveyard wins, but we want to show that level unlock for madness tiers as well. So the idea is that you start on madness tier 1, all the levels except for the dungeon are going to be are going to be locked again, and so you have to beat the dungeon at madness tier 1 to unlock the graveyard level, and we want to notify the player that that's happening. Right now it's not going to do that because it's just checking the normal level statistics, the madness level 0 statistics, so I got to change that. But in here now what I should be able to do is I can call check level unlocks in here. So when we enter the hub room, it's just going to go ahead and check, okay, do I have dungeon wins now? Do I have graveyard wins? It's going to store that unlocked level has dungeon win equals true. Okay, so that's fine. And shoot. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to make that work for madness, but we're going to do one thing at a time. So if unlock level is not equal to, not equal to null, we'll change to that state level unlocked. So the victory overview needs to show first. Yeah, so now I need to do the victory overview. Did I ever state victory overview here? Enter state victory overview. Else if run statistics manager dot should show victory cinematic state machine dot change state victory overview. So this is the order that we're going in. So first we're going to show the intro cinematic if that's the thing that we need to show. It's going to show that, then it's going to roll back to this enter state initial. Then we're going to see, okay, do I need to show the victory screen? Then it's going to show that. Then we're going to say, okay, did I unlock a level as a result of that victory? Then show that. And then here we have to check if there was a victory So I think this would be run statistics manager should show victory, although I think that this is getting set to null. So I'm gonna have to think about that actually. I think what I'll do is I'll do this. Private bool should show demo over. And then in ready, should show demo over is equal to run statistics manager dot should show victory and options manager dot is demo. And then I can just put that in here. Should show demo over. In the state demo over here, what I should do is I should do this. Set that back to false. Okay. Okay, so that has been handled now, so I can get rid of all these things. So now I need this on demo screen closed. So where's my victory screen here? Oops. Victory screen. There's a lot of refactoring going on here. Does the demo over screen have a blocking UI component? It does. So I need to basically copy this blocking UI component. I need the closed event handler. Victory screen, blocking UI.escaped, and then on finished here. On out animation finished, we're going to do emit signal name dot closed, but then we're also going to do that for on escaped here. Okay. Good. All right. So that I can use that now in here. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of that. Okay, so we've pared down that class quite a bit. So in this enter state demo over, I can do demo end screen dot closed plus equals on demo over closed. Cinematic state machine dot update. Okay, so that should close that loop for us. Oh goodness. That's done, so we can get rid of that. Okay, now the question is, do I need to test this now? I mean, I do need to test it, but I just don't know if I should be doing that right now. I think, yeah, that should be fine. How do I want to test this? Let's do this. Let's build let's build to make sure there's no build errors. I don't think there are. Hello, Neozoid. Welcome back to the stream. Good to see you again. Okay, all right. So I think the easiest way to do this is just going to be, let's turn this to false. Controls tutorial shown false. Upgrade tree tutorial shown false. Forge tutorial shown false. And then the save.json, we're just going to rename this to save.old. Then what I'll do is I'm going to go to dungeon arena, and I'm going to turn on debug mode, but I'm also going to go to my wave manager here, and I'm just going to set it so that it's 2 waves, so I can just easily go through and win, so I can see what that looks like. And I'll lose intentionally as well a couple times just to make sure. And we're going to start it on, let's see, on demo close. What would I need to show here? Okay. Show intro cinematic, show victory. I'm fairly confident that this is going to work minus any errors I may have made, so let's find out. Hello, Nasio? Do I have tutorials done in GDScript? I do. I mean, I have a course that's in GDScript. It's linked below. I may have done some tutorials on this channel for GDScript as well. I'm not sure. But welcome to the stream, by the way. Okay, I should see the controls tutorial now. Very nice. Shoot. I'm just not going to finish that so it doesn't ever get logged. So I shouldn't be able to access these. I didn't change anything about this, so... Wait, did I? Oh, I didn't make this... Debug, customize run instances. I need to make this demo first. There we go. Okay, so I'm being shown the tutorial again. That's great. That's exactly what I expect, but I'm not going to let that finish so that it doesn't turn off. Okay, so we'll go in here. I can kill this guy instantly. Get all that stuff. Go in here. Take a passive. Drag on over a part. Oh, there's my tutorial gun parts. Okay. Drag, equip to either gun. Cool. All right, dismiss. So I shouldn't see that again. Let's pull this. Okay. Oh, I forgot. This thing is like, takes forever. I need to do something about this for testing purposes. I'm just going to go ahead and change that right now so I don't forget. I hope I don't accidentally commit that change, but we're going to turn this down to 1. There we go. I don't really need the gold. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, it didn't work. Let's go see why it didn't work. So we got 2 errors. Oh, I forgot to put my screens in the... Okay. I forgot to put my screens in the resource preloader, so I need the demo end screen, victory screen, and level unlocked screen. Okay. Good thing I'm testing it. Okay, the tutorial's still showing up. That's good. Oh, it's not going to show me the level unlock now, though. All right, so let me go back to my save.json here. Dungeon wins. We're going to turn this down back to 0. All right, so now it should detect that I have any dungeon wins, which means that it shouldn't show me the graveyard level if I try to go there. Hello, Balsy. I don't want to call you Ballsy for obvious reasons, but maybe that is what your name is. I recently came across your vids, and even though I don't use Godot, I find your games and art style really interesting. Thank you, I appreciate that. And welcome to the stream. Great to see you here. It'll be out soon. I want to, I don't know, I'm still trying to decide if I need to send stuff to press today. I probably should, right? 2 weeks. I can follow up with a patch for the Madness stuff once I'm done with it, which I'm trying to get the Madness stuff done by the end of today, actually. Okay, so there's the victory overview screen. I should be able to hit escape. Okay, that works. Level unlocked, done. Not accessible in the demo. And then I should see demo over. Very nice. Close. Okay, that all worked. And now it's showing me the tutorial again. Great. So see how all that was sequenced nicely? Okay, so now that tutorial is finished. So next time I start the game, I shouldn't see that. So if I quit, I go into the game. That tutorial should not show up. And I still should not be able to play the graveyard or this one. Cool. All right, so now let's pretend like I am no longer in the demo. Starting up the game. By the way, the game does carry over your demo save data, so the upgrade to the full version will be completely seamless. So you'll keep all your gold that you've generated from your dungeon gameplay. You'll keep all your unlocks, but more stuff will be available to you, obviously, because a lot of the content is locked behind the demo version. So anyway, so now I'm done with the demo. I'm ready to go into the game now. I'm gonna go back. Boom. Let's go into the graveyard. Oh, I forgot to do something. Quit. Oh, it's gonna show me this nice thing. Very nice. Okay. Okay, so I need to go to my graveyard arena, and I need to turn on debug mode for these as well. Cool. All right, now we'll try it. I just don't want to spend forever fighting through waves of enemies, that's all. Okay. Okay. Ooh, got the necromancer part. Very nice. All that should still be working. I didn't change any of that, so. Okay, go through. And I just want to make sure that this sequence works again. There's my victory screen. Level unlocked, boom. Now I just want to make sure that that screen doesn't show up again if I were to beat the graveyard again. That should all be done. Hello, Momo. How's the game coming along? I'm doing well, first of all. Thank you for asking, and welcome back to the stream. How is the game coming along? It's going great. Yeah, right now I'm just adding an endgame system. Hopefully, I'm hoping to have the endgame system done today, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see how that goes. All right, let's see. Don't show me the level unlock again, please. Sweet. All right. So that works. So now, let me commit what I've got so far. So yes, we're gonna commit that. I don't want to commit the changes that I made to the balance, though. That would be bad. Okay, so we'll commit that. Wave Manager is not being committed. Run Statistics Manager, that is going to be committed. Did I run Statistics Manager? Yeah, okay. Actually, did I remove the resource preloader? I did. Okay. Hub Arena. Does this one need to be... Yes, this one does need to be updated, so add that. Graveyard Arena, no. Dungeon Arena, no. Chest, no. Run Statistics Manager, yes. Okay, so refactor end of run screens. Okay, so now the next thing I do before I go and beat the cave level, the next thing that I want to do is make sure that my conditions are in place to trigger the madness. Let's see. Hub room. So how am I triggering the madness here? Get maximum madness tier available greater than 0. Okay. Okay. So let me just try this. Let me get this working first. So state madness. Enter state. Okay. So enter state madness. Blah blah blah. On madness cinematic shown. Let me look for intro cinematic shown. Yeah, so here I'm going to do this. On madness cinematic shown. Show madness cinematic equals false, and then save. And then we'll put a callable.from on madness cinematic shown. Madness cinematic shown. That gets emitted on madness. Right, that gets emitted. Emit madness from here. So after that cinematic is done, that will get emitted. And then yeah, that should be fine. So it's going to save that state. Cool. All right. Whew. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and commit or stage that real quick. And then I'm going to go to my cave arena, do the same thing here. Turn on the debug mode. So we're speed running the game in the truest sense of the word. How many wish lists do you have if it's not a secret? I haven't checked, honestly. I think it's somewhere around... I don't remember, actually. I think it's somewhere around 6,000. But I'm hoping that the press push that I'm going to do here is going to be... is going to gather, hopefully, a couple thousand more in the next couple weeks, which should hopefully be enough momentum to get me on Steam, trending and whatnot, but we'll see. Welcome back, or welcome to the stream, Synteki. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. All right, let's go ahead and do the cave. I don't think I've ever shown the this last cave boss on stream, and I'm still not going to show it. I mean, you might see him briefly, but I'm not going to show you what he does. It's going to be a surprise. I haven't shown off on any of my social media how that boss actually functions, because it's a, like I said, it's a surprise. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see if the Madness cinematic gets shown. Ooh. Very nice. I'm also not going to show the text, what I'm going to ultimately write here on stream. I want to leave some things up for discoverability, so if you want to know what this imp is going to say in the final version of the game, you're going to have to buy it. I'm sorry. Awesome. So now if I quit the game, that should be set to false now. So if I go in my options data here, Madness cinematic shown true, or true is the thing. So now if I start the game up again, I shouldn't see that cinematic again. Cool. All right. I think everything is working. I'm obviously gonna have to test it some more, and I'm not done with this because, like I said, I want the imp to be I want the imp to not be visible until the cinematic is shown. So, yeah. That should be relatively easy to do, though, I think. Anyway. Let me just do this real quick, so... Oh, wait, that's all I need to do. Cool. All right. Save Madness cinematic state. So now I feel much better. That was going to be a spaghetti mess if I tried to coordinate all the places in the code to get all that stuff working sequentially. So now that it's all happening from the hub room script and I can control the order in which they're shown, that makes me feel much better. So that's great. Let's see. And then there's a couple of things that I want to note here. Make level unlock screen work with Madness tiers in hub room script code. So there's a lot of stuff. So now check this out. I should be able to see that this works. So if I do false for Madness cinematic shown and false for intro cinematic shown. So the idea is that I want to make this code robust so that if I ever want to enable the option for players to reset the cinematics, it's not going to break anything. Like everything's gonna show properly. Cinematics are amazing. I was wondering, how do you do the cinematics, specifically the camera focus and the view narrowing? Yeah, I'll go into that in just a second here. So now if I close this cinematic, it should immediately bring me into the, yeah, there we go. So the idea is that if I turn off cinematics, or if I give the player the option to re-enable cinematics, they should all happen sequentially in the order that they should happen in without breaking anything. Like this whole effort has been me trying to make sure that if there's going to be a screen grabbing focus for the game, nothing else that's supposed to grab focus can spawn at the same time. So that was what this past, 45 minutes of effort was just getting everything so that I'm guaranteed that I know the order that things are going to show in, I know that things are not going to overlap when they show, and I can make sure that the conditions are being met properly when they show. Anyway, so the cinematics here, let me go into that. So what I did is I created a cinematic component, and a cinematic component is very basic. It's just a canvas layer. These top and bottom bars here are black color rectangles that get animated in with an animation player. And then, so if I do in, whoops, let me zoom out a little bit. So that's where the bars are coming in. It's just color rectangles being animated in. And then this speech bubble, it's very simple. I just assume that the character that's talking is going to be in the middle of the screen. And I use a combination of, I just use an HBox container and like this dummy control over here to shove this speech bubble panel over slightly to the left. So I'm just playing with the natural layout capabilities of the control here. The speech bubble is very basic. It's just a panel container, and then I've got this little notch over here, which is a texture rect that is just set on the border. So it's just kind of masking. It looks like it's a nice, part of the art, but it's not. It's like a separate piece. And the benefit is that you can then flip this if you wanted to do the other side, or you could, rotate it downward if you wanted to. So it's just a lot more flexible that way. What else? This rich text label, it's just BB code enabled, and then you can use the built-in Godot animations for that code. And then what essentially happens is, I'm not going to save this. I have, what is a prompt container? Oh yeah, this is just like the control container up here. And then I have at this root level, I have an export array here, which allows me to specify the dialogue. So it's just a straight, obviously there's no like branching dialogue in my game. There's no like dialogue options. So the very simple thing to do is just to have an array of the order of the dialogue options, right? So that's what this array does. But this is a basic cinematic component. So what I do is I inherit from that scene. So for the player intro cinematic component, I inherit from that scene so that I can specify the dialogue for the player here. And of course, this is all BB code in here, so the shake stuff in there. And then in terms of the code, it's relatively straightforward. I mean, it's a little bit complicated, but it's not that bad. Since I have that array of BB code speech text, that's basically the order. So I just have like a current speech index. And whenever I press the E or the space bar key or whatever happens to be configured for the player, I have a tween running that gradually reveals the text, and that can be done very easily with this visible characters property of the rich text label. So I'm just tweening that visible characters, and then what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, if I press E, for example, while that tween is happening to reveal the characters, it kills the tween, and also, so it skips the tween, which will kill it, and then set the visible characters to 100% of the visible characters. So it's like, how in games, if you want to skip the animation, you press the advance key one time and then the text immediately appears. That's what that's doing. But if it detects that there is no currently running tween on the text, it will then go and advance the speech here, which just increments the speech index and then grabs the next string and resets up that tween for me. And then if it detects that the current speech index is is at the end or has exceeded the length, or not exceeded the length. If it's exceeded the max index of that array, then it will go ahead and trigger all of the out animations. So it plays that in animation backwards here. So this in animation plays in, and then when the speech is done, it plays out in the backwards direction. Very easy. And then in terms of the camera, I actually have a game camera singleton, and I built a long time ago into this a target position override. So by default, the camera follows the player's center position, but if there's a target position override available, the camera will go there instead. And so in the Madness unlock table, when I spawn the Madness intro cinematic component, which is just an inherited version of the cinematic component, it sets the camera override position here, which is just forwarding a call to game camera set target position override. And the camera doesn't need to be controlled directly because the camera is always lerping towards its target position. So you don't need to like set up a new camera or whatever. It's just like if you give the camera an override position, it'll go there. And if there is no override position, it just defaults to following the player. It's very simple. So when I set that override position, the camera snaps very nicely to the imp. And then of course I listen for those cinematics to be finished. And then when that happens, I'm actually just force setting the target override position to null in the cinematic component. So down here, when the out animation is finished, so that's after this play backwards happens, it sets that target override position to null for the camera, emits a finished signal, and then frees itself. So I know that's a very, very quick overview, and there's a ton of stuff going on in here, but hopefully that gives you an idea of like the general approach to the cinematic. It's all just like smoke and mirrors, right? Like the bars are just color rectangles. I'm just overriding the camera position, but not changing its lerping functionality at all. So it just lerps to a new position. The speech bubble advancement is just using a clever combination of control nodes and rich text labels. And that's basically it. So yeah, I hope that gives you some ideas on how to approach it. Obviously, this is very basic. This approach would have to be a lot more sophisticated if you had like dialogue options and whatnot. But for basic like flavor text or flavor dialogue is essentially what I've got going on. It works just fine. Okay, so this is actually this is done. This is done. Well, actually, I need to finish the dialogue here. Add Madness indicator to game UI. Animate Imp Madness UI screen in. Make Madness Imp only show up when it's available. Unlock screen work tiers in a hover room script. Okay, so I still need to do a lot of this stuff then. All right, so I'm going to keep these things in place in case I need to do a speed run to the game again. But the next thing that I want to do is I have the capability, going off of what I was just describing, Madness unlocks table. The Madness unlocks table has a public method, show intro cinematic, which is responsible for spawning that Madness intro cinematic component. So I have the ability to do any animations here first before I actually have the cinematic take over control. You know what I just realized? There's one thing that I'm missing. I need to disable the player input during that cinematic. This is actually going to be really funny. Wait a minute. This is going to be really funny. Check it out. I think this will work. Let's see. I didn't know Godot has BB code feature. Yeah, you can use BB code with a rich text label. Oh, I can't actually move. Why can't I move? Let me think. I was not expecting to not be able to move, but that's a happy accident. Oh, because I've got a blocking UI component here. Yeah, so I shouldn't be able to escape either. Yeah. So I've also got this blocking UI component which ties into the game. It basically disables player input whenever a node like this is in the tree. And actually this uses a lock system, so anytime this blocking UI component gets added, it goes to the player input manager and it adds a lock, and this lock is just a counter. So basically I could add 5 blocking UI component nodes to the tree, and only after each of them has been freed or removed from the tree will this input locks go back down to 0, and then the player's actions will start being tracked again. So up here in unhandled input, I'm checking if input locks is greater than 0. So if I have input locks, return, and that is blocking. So I have a way of like interjecting and saying, nope, don't accept any player input. So the player is still in the normal state, which controls movement and shooting and whatnot. But the problem is that when there's a blocking UI component, none of those inputs get detected. So I actually don't need to do anything with the player. So that's great when that cinematic is up. Cool. All right. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that this imp is hidden if the intro cinematic has not been played yet. And that should be relatively easy. So we'll go ahead. Is Godot better than Unity? I am struggling to learn which engine. Well, I mean, I don't... it's hard to measure engines on an objective basis. It comes down to... I mean, the way to answer that question would be to basically determine how efficient you are working in each engine. I would say that Unity is better if you feel more comfortable in Unity and you can accomplish what you're trying to do in Unity easier than Godot, and vice versa, right? I realize that's not very helpful. What I would say is that Godot is my favorite 2D engine ever, of all time. I haven't done much with Unity 2D, but I don't think I want to, because my understanding is Unity 2D doesn't naturally work on a pixel basis, which kind of makes it difficult to do 2D pixel games. The fact that Godot can handle like the pixel rendering and like does all of its operations in terms of pixel distances instead of, you know, meaningless distances is great. It's super flexible, super easy to use. Godot feels like it gives you a lot of functionality out of the box, but then there's also like there's a lot of room for you to do your own thing, and there's a lot of room for customizability. The node composition way of doing things is very intuitive in my opinion, especially if you're already familiar with like graph theory and trees and how those data structures work. If you already have an intimate understanding of that stuff, then the Godot node structure makes a whole lot of sense. Of course, there's no licensing as well, so you don't need to worry about ever paying anything for Godot, which is great, especially if you're an indie developer like me on a relatively tight budget. But, you know, all of that is sort of secondary to which engine are you most efficient in, or which engine feels naturally the best to you. And then, of course, there are weaknesses in each engine, right? So I mentioned that Unity kind of has a weakness with respect to like 2D pixel games. Not that you can't make a 2D pixel game in Unity. Obviously, it's been done many times before, but I think Godot is a more natural fit for that in my experience. But if you're going to make a 3D game, I think that formulation becomes reversed, because Unity has obviously been kind of like one of the go-to engines, if not the go-to engine for indie 3D games for a long time, and so it's only natural that it's going to be far ahead of Godot in that department. And Godot still has a lot of jankiness with respect to 3D, from my understanding. So, but again, like, you can try both, and you can say, well, I can deal with Godot's 3D jankiness because it feels better to me, or you can say, no, I just like how Unity works better. So yeah, I think try them both, see which one you like better. If you're new, one of the advantages that Unity has is there's a whole wealth of tutorials for Unity compared to Godot. So that's certainly nothing to disregard. But yeah, I would say do whatever you're most proficient with, and don't get hung up so much on like, did you make the right engine choice? The right engine choice is whatever engine allows you to finish your game in the most efficient way possible. Do you think there would be a difference in performance of your game if you had used GDScript? I don't think so. I mean, there's nothing that this game is doing that's like super computationally expensive. I would bet that the most computationally intensive things that are happening in Gunforged are like the pathfinding, especially when you're shooting like skeletons out of the necromancer gun, because all of the entities on screen are using pathfinding, but then all of the skeletons are also individually using pathfinding. But that is not really a problem at the scripting layer, because all of that pathfinding calculation is done on the C++ layer. So it really, I wouldn't expect there to be much of a difference at all in performance, whether I'm using C# or GDScript for interfacing with the pathfinding stuff, because all the critical calculations are happening at the engine level, at the C++ level. Yeah, like that being the most computationally intensive thing, but also not being related at all to whatever scripting language you use, makes me think that, yeah, probably there would be no noticeable performance benefit. If there was, I would expect like maybe a handful of frames per second, but if the game is already running at 300 FPS and like GDScript subtracts 2 frames from that, is that like really that big of a deal? The answer is no, right? So, and I'd be surprised if GDScript was costing even that many frames per second in terms of its performance overhead. You're welcome, Jason. The overall structure of the game objects, nodes, and scripts is the same, but there are feature sets of each that they excel in. Yeah, Godot is catching up quickly to feature priority with Unity. Yeah, I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think that Godot is on the trajectory that Blender was on, right? Blender was just kind of like this open source, nice kind of tool for people, but because Blender has had so much development behind it and has matured a lot, it's actually starting to become like the de facto standard in 3D modeling, right? Like people are moving away from the proprietary tools and using Blender because it's so good. I think Godot is on that same trajectory where it's not sophisticated enough yet for a lot of more serious applications, but it's on that trajectory, and there will come a point in time, probably within the next several years, where like huge chunks of the industry start to use Godot, because it's clear that that's becoming like the de facto way to make, especially indie games, but probably like AA games and stuff like that. So I think that Godot is exactly on that trajectory, and I would not be surprised if Godot was just the go-to engine for most game developers, or at least a very sizable chunk of game developers within the next couple of years. Godot needs to split their editor into official assets like Unity does with packages. I'm not familiar too much with that, but yeah. I'm sure they'll make the right choice. Okay. So the thing that I want to do next with this little imp guy is I want to make sure that he's hidden. So these imp visuals are hidden prior to that cinematic being shown. And then of course I want to get the Madness unlock screen working. Maybe I'll do that first. Let's get the Madness unlock screen working. So we'll show an error message there. I'm just going to copy from the prize wheel. So I'm sorry, sir, you're cut off, or copy this. Paste this in here. We'll just say nothing happens. Then we'll return here. Otherwise, interaction able, yeah, on screen closed. This is the Madness unlocks screen. It doesn't have a closed signal, so that's fine. Passive unlocks screen. We're gonna copy this blocking UI component, close texture button, put this in here. On close pressed, on escaped. Copy all this. Okay. Okay, and then the Madness unlocks table, yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so let's just go ahead and make sure that that works. So I should be able to bring up this screen. Unity has official features of their engine that are not shipped with the editor engine itself and are added on as you need them for a project like Cinemachine. Oh, I got you. I got you. What do you think about the UI UID files that's in Godot 4.4. I'll have to see. I'll have to work with it to see how I think about it, but my opinion is that people are always unhappy whenever something changes. And that probably a lot of the UID change stuff is that. Not to say that there isn't like genuine concerns, but I think a lot of people just don't like when noticeable changes like that happen. But I do think I'm in agreement with Christopher here that it's probably for the best. Like, I don't think the Godot engine developers would be making such a big change if it wasn't clear that this was going to offer benefits, like very, very clear and good benefits, especially for future development. And if it makes using the engine easier in terms of like moving files around in the file system and whatnot, like, I think that was one of the stated benefits, is that you now don't have to move files around using the Godot editor. You can use your file system instead. And then because the UIDs are IDs instead of paths, then it becomes possible to do that, right? So I don't know, we'll see. I mean, it's possible that I won't like it, but I think, like I said, I trust the Godot developers. They haven't let me down yet, so I don't have any reason to doubt that the decision they made is the right one. Hey, look at that. Boom. It works. Okay. So now we need to make the little imp. Let's see. Firstly, let's add that. Let's add that. Let's see. Okay, so show unlocks screen when interacting. So now we need to handle the case where the madness table is not unlocked. So if get maximum madness tier available is equal to 0, we're going to set that to question mark. Let's do this. If not options, let's see, if not if options manager show madness cinematic or that. I think I need to do this. Connect game events.instance.connect signal name.madness cinematic shown. Actually, you know what? I don't even need to do that. That would be redundant. Interaction area component. Let's store the default text. That should be easy, actually. Private string default interaction text. Default interaction text is equal to interaction area component.text. When we emit this, we're going to say .text is equal to default interaction text. Okay, and then show madness cinematic if show madness cinematic or that is equal to 0, then yes. If options manager.show madness cinematic, this is going to be easier if I just do this. Private string is madness unlocked is equal to, or private bool not options manager.show madness cinematic and greater than 0. So this is going to be a lot nicer. If is madness unlocked, if not is madness unlocked. Okay, and then I need to set the imp here. So do I want to, let's see. I probably don't want to autoplay this, just have it consuming CPU cycles if it's just invisible. Actually, I wonder if that happens, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Did I call that default? Yeah. Private static read-only string name anim default equals default. If is madness, if not is madness unlocked, we're going to say imp visuals dot visible is equal to false. else animation player dot play anim default. Okay, let me see if this works. We're also adding UIDs to other things that didn't before, so that's a plus. Oh, very nice. I haven't studied art. I want to ask if I want to make a 2D pixel game, will this be a big problem? How did you solve it? I have a video called How to Get Good at Pixel Art with No Art Skill on my channel, and in that video I cover 5 of the tips that most improved my my pixel art skills. So I would definitely recommend checking out that video. That will give you some answers to that question. The asset lib describes what you mean, and Phantom Camera is the Godot Cinemachine equivalent approximately. Nothing in the asset library is made by Godot Foundation. Gotcha. Engine editor itself. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what is the reason why Unity split out the packages? Is that just to reduce like build times and download sizes? Because Godot is already a very tiny download, and so you know, Godot, like the Godot developers could pack the engine with even more functionality, and I don't think it would basically not make a difference, right, in the download sizes and everything. You'll accidentally click on the UID file if you're not paying attention. Yeah, I mean, I guess one of the problems, I haven't used the UID system, but I guess one of the problems is that you kind of have to babysit the UID files, right? Like you have to say, oh, like if you're going to move a file, you have to move the UID file alongside of it, which there's got to be an easier way to do that, right? Like there's got to be, I don't know. Like I said, I trust the developers to do that, but it seems like babysitting UID files is going to be the biggest problem. Look at Jolt for 4.4 as an asset lib plugin now they integrated it. Yeah. Reduces the engine size and complexity of having a mono repo. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there are trade-offs to each thing. Yeah, I mean, that is one of the places where Godot is like lacking somewhat, is like, it's not super easy to make plugins and extensions from my experience. I mean, it's obviously supported, but you know, if Godot had like a first class, like very easy to use extension system and editor plugin system, this engine would be unstoppable. I mean, I've made some editor plugins that add like UI elements to this editor, and it's just like, it's super hard to do. If there was an easier way to do that kind of stuff, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is easy, but I've never done anything with GD extension. I thought they were supposed to be adding the ability to write GD extensions with C#. Was I mistaken about that? Or is that still in progress? I don't remember. Something's broken. Imp animation player. This is Imp. If GD extension gets C# support, I will be all over that. Trying to figure out how to write some cool GD extensions. Okay, so that's working. Let's see what happens. So what I need to do is I actually need, let's create a new animation player. We're gonna do cinematic animation player, new default animation. And what we'll do is we will set the imp visuals visibility to on after, I mean, I probably don't need an animation player for this, but let's do it after 0.5 seconds. Show intro cinematic. So there's that. I might need to extend this a little bit, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to say cinematic animation player.play anim default. And then what I'm going to do is options manager set that to false. Ooh, look at that. And the animation's not playing though. I'm gonna delete this. I don't want this. I don't need another animation player here complicating things. What I'll do is show intro cinematic. I'll create a tween for this. So var tween is equal to create tween. Tween.tween interval. Let's do 0.25. Tween.tween callback. We're gonna set imp visuals.visible is equal to true. And then we're gonna set animation imp animation player dot play anim default. Yeah, this will be a lot better. And I'm going to do this. Madness, yeah. So let's run this. You can write plugins in C#, but it's recommended to use GDScript. It'd be funny if they did, but I don't know how that might work. The extension would just be more or less the same as a game engine right now, right? I don't know. I guess I don't know how the GD extensions work. Talking about extension, I thought plugin. You are compiling to IL to .NET run it. Yeah, I don't know how any of that works. I'm not savvy enough in that area, so I just know that if I was able to like just open up a code editor, write my own logic for my own node, and then publish that as a Godot extension, that would be so awesome, right? Because I have like I just don't like the plugin system that much because you gotta like get the add-ons folder working correctly, and like, you know, it's a pain to write an add-on in C#. I have several, or not several, but there's one node type that I'm using that's a GDScript plugin. It's the random timer, which allows me to set a range, like a range for the timer to choose, which is very useful, but it's written in GDScript, which is annoying because then I have to, you know, do the interfacing, like I have to call .call to start the method to start the timer and all that stuff. It's just kind of annoying. If I could write a random timer node in pure C# and then include that as a GD extension so that it would just show up as like a native node type in here. I mean, it does that with a plugin already, but just being able to plug that into the engine with a pure C# script would be amazing. Oh well. Oh well. So I think I need to extend this cinematic component start. Let's do float delay. Let's do float additional delay is equal to 0 plus additional delay. So now I should be able to call start. I'm gonna add some like poof particles and stuff. Try Rust, I love it. I haven't gotten an opportunity to try that. Ooh, that's perfect. That timing is great. And that works just fine. Now I have to go here and turn this back off. Okay, that's working great. Going from C++ to C, or C# to C++ isn't that big of a step, so making GD extension for your timer node is doable. I mean, I'm sure it is. I just don't like C++. I want garbage collected, no memory management, no pointers. I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. Call me a fake developer all you want. I'm never touching. I mean, I won't say I'll never touch that stuff, but I really don't want to. I really don't want to. I'm spoiled. I like when the language handles all that stuff for me. But I'm sure you're right. I'm sure that that a timer node wouldn't actually be that hard, especially if I can extend from the existing timer. I'm a full-time C# dev, and yes, it's easier. Yeah. I mean, no shade to C++ developers. We need the world runs on C++, but I don't want to do it. So that interaction area component needs to go away. Interaction area component dot set interaction dot toggle interaction enabled false. And then when that's finished, true. So that was like the last thing that I needed to do to make that work really nicely. Then I'll add some poof particles. We'll make it look real nice. Add some poof particles, you know what I'm saying? There we go. Testing, yo, haha. Gotta find some sound effects to like give them a voice or something. This is looking good. This is looking great. Okay, I'm gonna put this here, cinematic component there. Cool. I think I can get this Madness system done today. I'm still trying to decide if I should start reaching out to reviewers or not. Maybe what I'll do is I'll reach out to the smaller reviewers first. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. There's a lot, like, because I have to test, like, this sounds very gross, but I have to test my emails and how I write them and see how I can make them the most eye-catching, and I want to get some practice doing that. So I'm going to email the smaller creators first, just so I can get a hang of like how to craft the email and everything before I hit the big guys on YouTube, you know? And that will give me also time to finish this Madness system before I send the review codes to the bigger guys, so that if they happen to play the game long enough to get to that Madness system, they can include that in their video. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to be in the situation where if a bigger creator happens to showcase GUNFORGED and happens to play it for quite a bit, I don't want to be in a position where they say, oh yeah, the game was cool, but there's no endgame system, right? Like that would suck. So that's why I'm kind of rushing through this and trying to get this done, because I want to get my email marketing outreach done, but I also need to make sure that this system works. I don't know. The other option is I could just put another 12 hours of work in today to get this done and then start my email outreach in earnest tomorrow, but I don't know. I don't know. This is hard. Being an indie dev is hard. Use Rust. It's like somewhere between C++, but not a lot of crazy memory management. Well, that sounds appealing. Is Rust, is it a functional language or is it object-oriented? I think it's functional, right? Or am I wrong about that? Oh, shoot. I forgot to... Whoops. Missed commit. Okay, I'm going to get a refill on my drink real quick, so I'll be back in just 2 minutes. In the meantime, wishlist GUNFORGED, please. Everyone watching live, but also anyone watching the VOD or lurking. That would be greatly appreciated, but you can also support me by purchasing one of my Udemy courses. Those are linked below. Or you can check out the other links in the description below to be notified when the game goes live. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back, and then we'll continue on with the Madness work. All right, I'm back. What do you think? Should we do an extra long stream today? Maybe I'm feeling a little ambitious, but maybe we'll go... I don't know. Should we try to make it to a 3-hour stream today? So we're an hour and a half in the stream right now. So that means we'll do another hour and a half from this point. Because like I said, what I want, let's do a challenge. Let's see if I can get the entirety of the Madness system done within the next hour and a half. How's that sound? Does that sound like a good idea? I mean, I don't think like these things, there's a lot of things here, but these are all very simple, like numerical changes. So I don't expect that these are going to take that long to implement. The biggest things that are going to take a long time is like the UI and getting that to look nice with the icons and everything. So maybe an hour and a half is a little bit ambitious, but maybe we'll set a goal for the next hour and a half. The goal being that all of the code for the system should work. And that means that all I'll need to do is just like finish the UI and the icons and whatnot. So let's try it. Well, we'll set a little challenge here. Yeah, it shouldn't be that bad, honestly. Shouldn't be that bad. Don't jump the gun. You want valuable feedback. Most people only try once. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. The thing is, like, the game, I think the game already feels good. Like, the normal run through the game feels great. And I'm honestly not expecting reviewers to play the game long enough to get to the point where they're going to experience the Madness system. So I do think that the game's first impression is generally very good. So the Madness system is just extra. I just kind of had this realization when I was playtesting myself that this game needs an endgame system. Otherwise, it actually feels kind of bad to finish the game because you're like, I want to play more, but there's nothing for me to work towards anymore. You know, there's nothing for me to unlock. So, yeah. It's functional, but structs and traits. Gotcha. And Rust, from what I've learned, is that you have to be aware of variable ownership a lot. Okay, interesting. Yeah. I'll have to find an excuse to try it. I'm never in like a situation where Rust is a Madness unlocks table. Oh. Where Rust is like an option for whatever I'm doing. I'm just not in that world, you know? Okay, player poof particles. Where's that at? Check it out. I'm going to copy this, paste it here. We'll make local, delete this. Poof particles, make this unique so we're not accidentally deleting anything. Okay. We'll turn the amount up, move the poof particles up a little bit. Okay. These are a little bit short-lived. Explosiveness, that's fine. Display, acceleration's gravity, let's do -20. Okay, lifetime randomness, that's fine. Actually, you know what? I'm going to move this outside. There's our poof particles. Okay, so now let's do this. Var scale tween is equal to create tween. Lurk, yes indeed. We love our lurkers, don't we, folks? Scale tween dot tween property. Imp visuals. Scale vector2.1. 0.3.from vector2.0 ease type.out set transition tween dot transition type dot back So we're going to set that in place. Then we're going to also set the poof particles to emitting. Node Jeremy Jose de la Cruz. Welcome. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. GPU particles 2D. Poof particles. Poof particles dot emitting is equal to true. Let's see. Okay. All right. I'm gonna change this intro cinematic to have an extra little bit of delay there. Maybe I'll just make it 1 second. It's okay. Let's see if that works. Yep, any day now. Any day now. That looks pretty good. I think that the emission size is a little bit large. Let's see. It's hard to judge in the editor, but yeah, let's see. Emission shape, we want to do sphere probably. Okay, that looks much better. All right, cool. Let's try that. And now I think that I can probably make that initial velocity a little bit higher as well. Ooh, yeah, that looks much better. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Try it again. Okay. I think that this scale curve is a little bit... There we go. That looks a little bit more floaty. And I'm actually going to turn the lifetime up some more. Okay, let's see how that looks. We'll see how this looks. Can't spend all day on this if I'm trying to get... Oh man, that doesn't... There's something wrong about this. I think that the initial velocity is too fast. I mean, maybe what I need is like damping. Should I do damping? How do I do that? Oh, it doesn't search sub properties. I don't know. I don't remember where I need to set damping. I don't remember where that is. Oh, here it is. Oh, I already have damping set. Oh, should I just increase this? Okay. No, that's too much. That probably will be fine. Let's see. Don't need to spend a whole lot of time on this. I mean, it's just he's so cute. Okay, I think that's probably fine. Let me check let me just pay attention to these delays and whatnot, so. I think that looks good. And then I should be able to go and take that. And now that that's been shown, that shouldn't show up again. Sweet. There's one change that I want to make in here, which is imp visuals.scale is equal to vector2.0. I think I was noticing a little bit of flickering there, so I'll just make sure to set that as early as possible. And then, what else? I don't know why that got changed, but that's fine. All right, I'm just gonna make sure that that didn't mess up anything. There was something that I just thought I needed to do, but now I don't remember. Oh well. Oh well. Let's see. So both intros should be shown now. I just want to make sure that the player poof still works. Sweet. So now check this out. If I turn this to false and I go to my save.json and I turn down my cave winds here, then that cinematic should not be triggered because I don't yet have the available madness tiers. Cool. So then I'll need to go over here. I'm just gonna really, I mean, it doesn't hurt to test, but I just want to make sure that this is all working as expected. Cool. Get the victory screen first. You'll notice that that cinematic is not playing. Click done. Oh, what's over here? Oh, I just realized that, yeah. Okay, this is going to be a problem. All right, this is why we test. This is why we test. Okay. How do I want to solve that? Because I don't want that screen to take over immediately. Is that the only thing? I mean, these are all blocking UI components. So what I could do potentially to fix that is when the cinematic component starts, callable.from, let's do this. Advanced speech. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get tree dot call group name of blocking UI component. Blocking UI component. Check this out. Public void forced close. So if I do a force close here, so I can do this, hopefully. Name of blocking UI component. Dang it. Okay, I'm not going to do this. This dot get tree dot get nodes in group blocking UI component dot for each. Oh, get nodes in group. Thank you. Can I not do for each on this? Oh, it's only available on list? Okay. toList.forEach. Can I just do blocking UI component.forceClose? No. Cool. So I'm just going to force close any menus that are open. I think that will work. And I just got to make sure that this is being added to add to group here. Okay, so now I should be able to have my cake and eat it too, where if I have a UI open, it will just rip my attention away from that. I could alternatively pause that, but let's see. Dang it, it didn't work. Oh, it did work. Oh. Okay. What in the heck? Okay, this is starting to feel even hackier than it was before, but that's fine. If X is not equal to blocking UI component, this is why we test, right? Cool. All right, so that should work. So it was freeing itself, which was not ideal. It was freeing itself. That's not something that we typically want to have happen, you know? There we go. So now it's stealing my attention from whatever I was in. It's calling the close method on it, so all of the handlers that have been registered for that are all in place. So I can go to my stats down here. Oh, wait. This is a kind of annoying to test, but test it we shall, you know? Dang it. Okay, all right, so I'm almost done testing this. I just want to see. So I'm expecting, I mean, it's only a 1.5 second delay. Let's see if I can get over to the right-hand side in a second. Oh, wait. Ooh, that's kind of nasty. Oh, wait. Oh, man. That's probably not going to work. Shoot. Okay, you know what? I'm not sure that I like that solution anymore. It's not robust enough. So let me do this. Instead of trying to force close all of those things, let me do this instead. I'm just going to lock the player, the movement and capabilities, which might be confusing for the player for a 1.5 seconds. But then that's going to kick in, hopefully. So I think I'm doing that in the hub room. So this is where that delay is coming in. So I'm going to do this instead. We'll put that in there. We're not going to delay it at all. And then the Madness unlocks table, that's going to instantiate that. Yeah, this should be much better, I think. Wait, start. So if I do 2.5 here. Yeah, And then set camera override position. Let's get rid of this. How do I want to do this? Let's do this. Okay, I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to do something absolutely crazy here. Well, we're going to pass a callback into here instead. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do tween.tween callback. Callable dot from. Can I do this? Cool. So I can insert a callback in here, and then I'm going to do tween dot. Oh wait, let's do action tween. I have no clue if this is going to work. Callable dot from. Callback dot invoke tween. And then tween callback here. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? I don't need to do that, actually. Okay, so basically I'm going to supply a callback here, and I can make this null, right? There we go. We'll call this additional speech delay. Okay, this is a little messy, but we're going to try it. Okay, so the reason why I was doing all that is now what I can do is I can... What was this before? 1 second. Okay, so I can put a callback in here now. Tween. And then I can say tween.tween interval 1.5. So this is my timer that was there before. So the reason I'm doing all this is because I'm adding this to the scene, which adds that blocking UI component now. And now I can set the camera override position inside of that tween. So I've just extended this. I've made this capable of me adding additional stuff to the tween from whatever class. So now the blocking UI component is going to be added to the tree so the player can't move. But because I'm calling start with this callback here, I'm going to be adding those tweeners before these get added. So what I've done is I've made it so that there's just going to be a 1.5 second where the player can't move at all. And then it's going to set the camera override position after that, which is going to start moving the camera. And then I've added this additional speech delay here. So in here, basically what's going to happen is 1.5 second delay. After that, set the camera position. Then it's going to play the animation in, which brings the bars in, the cinematic bars. Then it's going to, after this interval, start the speech. And the reason all of that is going to be nice is because you could see now I've actually got this this secondary tween out here, which is waiting until after, which I could even extend this even more to have like a pre-speech callback here, which might be nice, but let's just make sure that this works first, and then I will worry about getting fancy with it a little bit later. Okay, so now what I should see is that the player is immediately unable to move, but for 1.5 seconds before anything happens. And I think that will work. Okay, I can't move. All right, perfect. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna need that pre-speech callback. So let's do this. Let's call this pre-start callback. Okay, and then we'll do this pre-speech callback. Dot invoke tween action tween pre-speech callback equals null. And we actually don't need this additional speech delay because I can move this here and I can just add the additional delay that I want in there. Okay, so now I can do that here. So this is where this is going to come in. I have no clue if that's going to work. Let's try. Let's try it. Hello, Splat. This might be an out-of-context question, but how did you implement the player status effects such as slow speed buff on the player? That is... Let's see. Ooh, that works. Let me just... I'll answer your question in a second. Let me just see if this works here. This is much nicer than what I was doing before. So I can't move. I can't do anything. I'm going to be like, what the heck? So that might be a little bit too long of a delay, though. I don't want the player to worry that the game is broken, so let's just do a 1 second. I'm sorry, I'll answer your question in 1 second. So the idea is that you'll say, hey, victory shown, hooray, and then you close the screen and you start to move and you're like, what the heck's happening here? Testing, yo, haha. There we go. Alrighty, perfect. Okay, so this might be an out-of-context question, but how do you implement player status effects as a slow speed buff on the player? So the status effect system is... Let me think about this. So for speed specifically, the way that I'm doing it is... How am I doing it? Oh, okay, so I'm just exposing a reference to the player's velocity component in here. And within here, I have a dictionary of speed percent modifiers, where the key is the ID of the modifier, and the float is the percent increase or decrease. Now, this is a flawed system because if I have negative 100% speed, then the player's movement actually gets inverted. And I have no guards against that. The only guard is that that's not even possible in the game right now, but if I ever did add more speed modifiers, I'd have to account for that. But it's just a dictionary of string IDs and float percent modifier values. And the way that this is calculated is that the overall speed percent modifier is just all of those values summed up together, and that's the end result. And then that is factored into the max speed of the velocity component. So essentially all I need to do, like with the beefy passive, for instance, is I just need to call add speed percent modifier, the name of the modifier ID, and then how much to reduce the speed percentage-wise. And that's how I do it. And of course, if this passive was ever removed, what I would do is I would just remove that speed percent modifier from that dictionary, right? So why do I do it that way? The reason why I'm assigning IDs to all those speed percents is because if you just did a flat increment and decrement value, you lose granularity, but also like bugs can come up where you don't decrement something properly, or let's say I added the beefy passive again, but I didn't intend for it to duplicate. I just wanted to make sure it was there. You know, you get all kinds of problems. So I break it up into granularity, and it also allows me to remove certain percent modifiers very easily. Like I can target it in a targeted fashion, remove a percent modifier. Let's see what else. So that's how speed works specifically. I mean, the other status effects are pretty straightforward, like the poison status, which does damage over time. All that this does is when it enters the tree, it starts a timer, and every time the timer stops, it gets a reference to the health component, which is provided by this status receiver. And then it just applies damage directly to that health component. So there's a status receiver component that coordinates the lifetimes of all the statuses, but then the statuses themselves are responsible for actually having the code that does either the damage or whatever other effect, like the oil status will do that speed modification that I mentioned earlier. So yeah, so it yeah, it just applies that speed percent modifier in here. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit. Hello, Adaton. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. We are doing a big stream today. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to add that. Not Wave Manager. Madness unlocks. Cinematic component. Oh. This I don't need anymore. And also this blocking UI component stuff that I made can go away. Discard that. Put that in there. Perfect. Okay, let me just make sure that I didn't accidentally delete anything. So we'll just make sure that this still works as expected. Cool. All right, that's working great. That's working great. Why did this change? I don't understand. I don't know why this UID changed, but I guess if it wants to change... Now I'm kind of paranoid. I'm going to go ahead and add that passive and make sure it still works. Okay, that worked. Okay, perfect. So let's see. Madness. Cinematic work. All right. So I need to finish the dialogue still, but let's see how many of these madness debuffs we can get through. So lose 1 health. I think I already have a resource for that. Yeah, lose health tier 1. We'll call it bloodletting. I'll rephrase this to take 1 damage. Gotta do the icons and stuff. I might as well duplicate this. Lose health tier 2. Bloodletting 2. This is kind of lazy. I might replace these, but... I wonder if they can just be the same description. They're not going to be dependent upon each other. So hopefully the fact that they have the same name but like different tiers here will be understandable enough to the player. So close all tabs. So now what I need to do is let's go to the Madness Unlocks screen. Lose health tier 2 button. Drag that on over. Okay. And let me go into my options, my save data here. Where is the Madness Unlock stuff? Madness statistics. Okay, so I should only have 1 point then. So let's just go ahead and try it out. So if I go to player, first of all, if I go to my Madness ID, lose health tier 2, tier 2. All right, so in my player here, I've already got some save manager stuff here. Silently set max health. Get actual max. Okay. If save manager dot has madness unlock meta upgrade ID. Let's do this. Var initial damage is equal to 0. Madness ID dot lose health tier 1 initial damage plus plus if save manager dot has madness unlock madness ID lose health tier 2 initial damage plus plus. Okay, that's it. That's the entirety of that madness debuff. So it's like like I said, these are very easy. I'm fairly confident that this is going to work. Oh wait, no, I'm not, because I actually didn't do anything with this initial damage. If initial damage is greater than 0, then we're going to take the health manager and we're going to call damage on it to, actually, I wonder. Yeah, that'll work. Do I need to? I might as well start in vulnerability too, just to be extra emphasizing the fact that you took damage. I could probably break this out into a separate function or method as well, but. So I should have 1 madness point, which I'm not showing any of that on the screen yet, so I gotta do that, but let's see. Oh. Well, I need to do the icons and the tooltips as well. Let me make a note of that. Make madness icons, art, UI. Make madness tooltips, code, and UI. Sweet. All right, let's see if this works. Oh, I'm already in the game. I need to actually make this change to the madness tier as well, but why did I heal? Why did I heal? Oh, maybe this is going to be harder than I thought. I mean, there's an easy way around this, which is to do all that in a deferred fashion, but I am not entirely sure that I want to do that, because that's just kind of like a hacky workaround. Oh, but this is calling initialize health. Yeah, so this is happening in a deferred fashion. Shoot. All right, I think I have no choice but to call this deferred as well. Callable.from. I really don't like how the sequence of things is happening here with the health manager and the health component, generally speaking, but I don't think there's a way around it, so I'm just gonna do this. As long as it works, as long as it works. Ooh, oh, ooh. I know it works now. Except it appears to have done 2 damage to me. Oh, because I hard-coded that. Private bool is hub level. So we'll just make that a little bit simpler to read, and then I can do this. If not is hub level. Okay, let's try it again. I know it works now, so that's good. Okay, apparently it doesn't work. What is going on? I was so sure that this was going to be easy. Did I do something dumb again? Oh, you know what? Where am I even setting the current level at? I don't even know where this is being set. Oh, that's why this current level is not being set early enough. So I'm going to set this up here, actually. Goodness gracious. It was always being set to the hub level because that's the default value. All right, now I'm 100% confident I will delete the entire GUNFORGED game if this doesn't work. See, we're safe. All right, so that's working. So now let's try the other one. I'm pretty sure the other one's going to work now because it's the same code, but let me just check the save data as well. Oh, that actually didn't work. Oh, it didn't save yet, that's why. I don't think, well, whatever. I don't think it saves. Actually, let me just try it. Close that. There we go. Yeah, so this is unlocked equals false. Unlocked equals true. So it just doesn't save. I should probably change that, right? Let me try that. Madness. Unlock screen. On Madness updated. Yeah, we'll do save manager.save. We'll just call a save there. So that way that data updates immediately. I mean, the game saves when you close it, but when I do changes like allocating meta upgrades or Madness upgrades, I like to save the file immediately. Just because it makes sense to do so. I should probably just make sure that this is still configured correctly. Yep. Obviously there's no tooltip or anything there. Excellent. Okay. I'm going to do this. Add that. Add that. Madness unlock screen. Add that. Add that. Add that. Add that. Okay. Make lose health madness work. And then I'm going to undo all these changes here. All right. Okay. So what's the next one we need to do? Prices are 50% higher. Enemy bullets travel 25% faster. Let's do enemy bullets travel 25% faster. Okay, so the first step here is create a new resource, Madness resource, enemy bullet speed. Enemy bullet speed, let's see, what should we call it? I don't know. I don't know what to call it. That's a good question. That is a good question. Well, we'll just call it X for now. That's not going to be good. I'll have to come up with a name for that. But anyway, so now when I go to make enemy gun stats, I'm going to change this. So this make enemy gun stats, it's returning this stuff, but then the base range is being changed in various places. So that's not ideal, right? So I'm setting the base range here. So what I'm probably going to do is, let's see. If I do a public class enemy gun stats builder, static, let's see, private gun stats is equal to make enemy gun stats. We're going to make this private. Actually, we don't even need to make that private. I can just do this. So that's the default enemy stats builder here. And then I'll just do this. Public enemy gun stats builder, set range, float range, gun stats dot base range is equal to range, public gun stats build. And then in here, what I can do is I can say gun stats dot base range times equals save manager dot has madness unlock. I need to go to my madness ID now. What did I call this? Enemy bullet speed. Okay, so in here, if it has the madness unlock, madness ID dot enemy bullet speed, question mark 1.2f, or, oh, whoops, I'm doing the wrong one. Set speed, float speed. Bullet speed times equals enemy bullet speed 1.25f, otherwise 1f. So if I have the unlock, we'll multiply it by 1.25, otherwise we'll multiply it by 1. And then I can do this, return gun stats. So now I'm sending, since I have to use this builder pattern now, I'm sending all of those stats through this build method here, where I can then apply any adjustments that need to be applied based on the madness stacks. Now that does mean that I need to go everywhere in the code now and fix that, because there's no longer a method called make enemy gun stats here. So I am going to just add another method in here for range. Set range, float range, base range equals range. So now what I can do in here is I can say stats is equal to new gun stats dot enemy gun stats builder dot set range that dot set bullet speed, or dot maybe I should call it set bullet speed. Set bullet speed 225, like so. And then I can call dot build on it, and that will give me the stats that I need. So now I'm just going to copy this, and I should be able to just go ahead and use that. So now in here, enemy cannon bullet, so I got to set the range. So I'll put this in here. Oops. Put that in here. Set range 100. Get rid of that set bullet speed. Perfect. All right, so gnome, same deal. Damn it. Okay. Bullet speed, 40. Base range, that. Okay, just to make sure that I'm doing this very carefully here, that's all. Call it dodge this. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I was thinking about something doing it with dodge. That would be good. So this turns into new gun stats dot enemy gun stats builder. It's a little bit, I guess it's a little bit, what I could do is I could say, I could create a public static gun stats, make default gun stats, like so. Like so, and then I could say make default gun stats. So then in here, instead of doing this, I can just say gun stats.enemy gun stats builder dot make default gun stats. You know, it's just kind of like an indication to me that if I wanted to change the stats, I need to use the builder to do that, but okay. So this is a little bit tedious, but oh, you know what? No, I shouldn't. No, what am I doing? No, I just completely subverted my the whole point of doing this. Wow. Wow, indeed. I am going to need to call build. Okay, that's fine. So it's a little bit redundant, but new dot build, because the calling of dot build is what applies the modifications. So I can't be subverting that. That doesn't make any sense. There we go. Okay. Working our way through it. Working our way through it. New gun stats, not enemy gun stats builder dot build. Stalagmite crab. This one. Set range. There we go. Almost done. Almost done. New gun stats dot enemy gun stats builder dot build. Zombie tycoon. Sweet. Okay, now hopefully that worked. I need to go to my Madness upgrade screen. Madness unlock screen. That's what it is. I got so confused there for a second. Enemy bullet speed. Drag that on over. And just for testing purposes, let me stage all that. Close all gun stats. So in here, just for testing purposes, I'm going to crank that up to 3, and we'll see if that works. Good morning, all. Happy month start. Yes, indeed. Good morning to you, Hawk Game Dev. How are you doing? How are you doing? Oh, man. Okay. So let's do this. Boom, boom. Spawn rat. Let's see how fast that is. Oh, look at that. That's very fast. Okay, spawn rat king. The Rat King's rat bullet should also be extremely fast. Oh, they're not. Why are they not that fast? Let me look at the Rat King real quick. Oh. Because I'm creating new gun stats right there, right in the code. Ah, I'm glad I checked that. I'm glad I checked that. Okay. So this actually is fine. This just looks like old code actually, so into new gun stats dot enemy gun stats builder dot build, set bullet speed 150, set range 200. I don't need any of this stuff, so we'll get rid of this. Okay. That ought to do it. Let's try that again. All good, starting a new job today. Oh, very nice. Congratulations on the new job. Hope it goes well. Can you spawn multiple bosses at the same time? Yeah, in my debug mode I can, for sure. It won't happen in game, at least not yet. But it, I can do that, yeah. Let's see if the rat bullets go faster now. Oh, of course he goes with the cheese attack first. Yeah, of course. Oh, look at those rat bullets. Okay. All right, so that appears to be working. So now what I'm going to do is go back to this and turn that back to the appropriate value. I'm going to have to test all of this, of course, but one thing at a time. Let's see how much more difficult this is. Oh, it's not terribly difficult. Yeah, I'm going to have to play test it, but since this is an endgame system, not really worried about it. Now check this out. The bullet should slow down immediately after I remove this. Look at that. Because it's being calculated. It's not being cached or anything, so it's just checking the real-time save data. That's super interesting. Let's go into the dungeon and see how this plays. Ooh. That is not correct. Why did that happen? I mean, I don't think that will ever happen, but yeah, that's noticeably faster, so I'm expecting that to be actually quite a bit harder. Oh no, I'm gonna die. No! Okay, I think I'm comfortable calling that one done. Can't wait for the boss rush mode. That may be a thing. I was thinking one of these upgrades could be like you have to fight 2 bosses back to back or something, or at the same time. The bosses are not balanced though for that, so it could literally become impossible if I spawned more than 1 boss at a time. But that's an interesting one. I don't know, and I have to be careful. I don't know how many madness tiers I want to do Because if the idea is you have to beat all 3 levels on a single madness tier to unlock the next tier, if that's the idea, then I don't want to make it like a super long slog, you know? Like I don't want to have 20 madness tiers and it's like, oh, you gotta beat 60 levels to finish out the madness tiers. 10 honestly feels like a stretch. But I could do something like I could just have it, right? So I could say if there are 20 madness options, then you have to put 2 points in to go up a tier, right? So I could definitely do something like that in the future. So just cap it at like 10 tiers, but then make it so that maybe certain upgrades, increment your tiers faster than others or something. I could definitely figure out a way to do it. So maybe I don't have to limit myself to 10. But I'll keep it at 10 for the release. I'll just find a set of 10 good ones, and then I have to do a bunch of play testing to make sure that the game actually has to be beatable at tier 10, obviously. Okay, enemy bullets travel 25% faster. I did that one. Enemy bullets have 50% increased range. I can get this one knocked out very easily. So let's just do that one. This is literally going to be super easy. Enemy bullet range. So I said 50%. So yeah, check this out. So in build, this is all I have to do. Single line dot base range times equals save manager. Did I call it enemy bullet range? Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's it. All right, let's see what happens. I really enjoyed it in Binding of Isaac. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Binding of Isaac boss rush mode. I'll have to check it out, watch a video or something. Let's see. So I can remove this, go there. Okay, let's see if that made a noticeable difference. Ooh, yeah. Look at how long those are going. So it's like small little things like that are actually going to make the game quite difficult, even though they don't seem that impactful. Okay, so I'm going to call that one good. I mean, that's just like a single line change, basically. 2-line change. Okay. What next? Each wave has 1 additional max enemy count. Each wave has 2 additional max enemy count. Taking damage causes you to drop 10 gold. Let's do these two. Each wave has 1 additional max enemy count. New resource. Enemy wave count tier 1. We'll call this Onslaught 1. 1 additional enemy. 1 enemy max. Maximum enemies. How am I going to phrase this? How am I going to phrase? So the way that the waves work is that it limits how many enemies are alive at a time to a certain number based on which wave you are on. And the goal of this one is that it increases that number. So if you're on wave 10, you know, let's just say that it limits it to 10 enemies on screen at a time. This will turn it into 11 enemies on screen at a time. And then if you had the second tier, it would be two additional enemies on screen at a time. So maybe one additional enemy How am I going to phrase that? I have no clue how to phrase that so that the player actually understands what's going on. Let me think about that for a second, but I'm going to go into my Arena Enemy Manager. Enemy count curve, max simultaneous enemies. So that's where this is. Okay, so this is going to be relatively easy. So enter state wave starting here. Max simultaneous, so we'll just do this. If, oh, I got to go to my meta or my Madness ID here. Enemy wave count tier 1. If save manager dot has madness unlock, madness ID dot enemy count tier 1, max simultaneous enemies plus plus. If save manager has madness unlock, enemy count tier 2, we'll increase it there. Okay. So I actually don't know gd.print max simultaneous enemies. Let's copy these and put that in the second VBox container because we're in the second column now. Enemy wave count tier 1, enemy wave count tier 2. Put tier 1 there, put tier 2 there. All right. I still don't know how to phrase that description, but I might leave that aside for now. Okay, let's see what it thinks, how many enemies there should be. 4, and then let's go ahead and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, it's working. Check it out. So it thinks, not it thinks, but before it applies those modifications, it's saying there should only be 4 enemies, and then it adds another one. Let's do this. One additional enemy is present wave maximum simultaneous maximum enemy count increased by 1. I don't know if that's clear enough, but I can always change that later. I think that's fine for now. I just need something in there. Get rid of this print. Add enemy count madness. Sweet. All right. Those are done. So I've got 2 more written down here. Prices are 50% higher, and taking damage causes you to drop 10 gold. Let's do that one. Taking damage causes you to drop 10 gold. I might change that. Yeah, I might change that, but we'll see. So let's create that resource. Madness resource drop gold on hit. Display name, hole in your pocket. I should come up with clever or funnier names for these too. Getting hit causes you to drop 10. Let's make it 20 gold. Let's make it a little bit more impactful. Okay. Madness ID. Okay, let's go to the player now. And put drop gold in there. Private void, drop gold. If not, save manager dot has madness unlock madness ID dot drop gold on hit. Then we'll just return. Otherwise, var gold to drop is equal to mathf dot min of 20 and mathf dot min of 20 and gold manager dot current gold. So we're going to drop 20, but if we have less than 20 gold, then we'll just take that value. We'll say gold manager dot take gold to drop. I'm glad I looked at this. Bool bypass statistic equals true. Or no, equals false by default. If not, bypass, or no. Yeah. Because in here, I'm going to need to do that true. And then this dot get wave manager dot drop get wave rewards manager dot drop gold. And we're going to say this int min gold to drop, max gold to drop, drop over time true. And disable automatic wave pickup equals true as well. Okay, so that's basically all that should happen. So let's go ahead and try that out. Seems like a really fun way to develop that you can add all of your ideas quite quick with the system you have set up already. Yeah, I mean, that's really the benefit of like carefully designing your systems and making things as modular as possible is that it becomes relatively easy to add those things. And also, like, I did do some thinking to make sure that the ideas that I came up with I knew would be relatively easy to add. But yeah, I mean, and the game is mature enough too. I mean, I've put a lot of effort into it over time that, you know, all of the systems are very mature and extensible. Not all of them, but they're reasonably extensible. And so I can iterate quite quickly, which is really important. And I think it's really important to just for purposes of enjoyment. Like, I would not enjoy doing this system if it was just a spaghetti mess, but I have a relatively high degree of confidence that this system is not going to be buggy at all. It's not going to have any unintended consequences. I mean, it might have some, but it's pretty clear how the system is working, and it's working in a sort of very minimal fashion, if that makes sense. But yeah, welcome, Mads, by the way. Great to see you. Okay. All right, I need to do this. I wish I had some icons and tooltips so I could actually see what I'm unlocking here. I have a question from looking at our Godot Utilities Delegate State Machine. Hold on a second. What if you want your frame-by-frame logic to use delta time when your state machine doesn't take delta? That's a good question. You just call get process delta time. That is a method available to you in the scene tree that will return the delta time that gets passed into all the process methods. So the reason I didn't include the delta in the delegate state machine is because it just clutters up the arguments, and sometimes you want to use a state machine that the delegate state machine that I made can be used outside of a context where you're constantly processing and you don't need delta. So if you need it, then just call get process delta time, and that will fix it for you. How many hours per day are you developing your game? Well, lately it's been like 10 or 12 hours for the past week or so. I'm spending a lot of time building the game, but that's only because it's coming out in 2 weeks from today. So I kind of have to put in some longer hours to make sure that it's as good as it can be. So yeah. Okay. Add gold 100. I just want to make sure that this works. So if I take damage, I should drop gold. Oh, look at that. I actually really like that because the gold is not pick upable for a period of time. And so you have to go add health 2. So if I get hit, I'm not going to be able to, I'm going to have to go back and pick them all up again. So it's not like a permanent loss. It's just really annoying because you're going to have to go back to the place where you just took damage from to get all your gold back. And I may update this in the future. I'm gonna have to play test it. If that feels too weak as a madness debuff, then what I'll do is I will maybe make it a percentage of your total gold, like 10% or something. So if you're carrying 300 gold, you're gonna drop 30, you know? And of course, if I don't pick it up, then I just permanently lose that money. And of course, if I get hit again, I drop that gold before the game ends, and so it's just one final subtraction of 20 gold if you get hit. So yeah. That's dedication. I can only do 4 or 5 hours. Any tips how you able to do 10 hours? I mean, honestly, the 10-hour number is not sustainable. The only reason that I am able to do that is because I'm really motivated by the fact that I want this game to be as good as it possibly can be by release. And a lot of that too is not programming, by the way. When I say I'm working on my game, a lot of that is spending a couple hours in the evening, recording email addresses for content creators and press to reach out to, right? I spent Saturday morning, I spent 3 or 4 hours updating all of the Steam capsule art because Steam has, it's a whole thing, but Steam has higher resolution capsule art available. And so I went in and I redid all my capsule art to be the proper size and stuff. And I also rewrote a bunch of the description on the store page, and I edited the trailer. So when I say I'm working, it's not all just programming and content development. Some of it is the Steam stuff, the marketing stuff, and all that kind of good stuff. So, but I am motivated by the fact that I want this game to be good on release. Not that it wasn't good before, but I'm just trying to squeeze every last ounce of what I can put into it. You know what I mean? I should also probably just test that that's not gonna trigger the gold drop. But I would say prior to the release getting close, I was probably only doing 4 to 5 hours a day, maybe 6 hours. So definitely had a lighter work schedule before I had a set release date. What's the demo version currently? No, the demo's up to date. The demo contains all the features and quality of life changes that you've been seeing on these streams. And as I've been adding stuff in the weeks up to the release and fixing issues and whatnot, I've been updating the demo as well. So the demo is up to date with the current state of the game. So please feel free to go and play the demo. It's going to be representative of how the final game feels for sure. So yeah. Do I plan to release on consoles in the future? It depends on how well the game does, because I have to pay somebody to do the porting or learn how to do it myself, and that's a lot of effort. So I'll have to see how GUNFORGED does first. But it's certainly a possibility. Yes, go ahead and play it, Hawk Game Dev. I'd appreciate that. Okay, so the last one I have to do is prices are 50% higher, and I think that one's going to actually require a little bit of refactoring, so... I don't know if I want to start that right now. So we're getting to the 3-hour mark where I said we'd go. Oh, man. Yeah, I think I'll hold off on that prices are 50% higher one for now. Because like I said, that's going to take some refactoring. I also need to come up with a 10th one. I've only got 9 here. One idea I had last night when I was trying to sleep is it would be kind of funny if the health globes, if one of these madness things where like the health globes could spawn legs and instead of staying on the ground in one spot, they ran around. You know what I mean? So like instead of the health potions or whatever just staying there, they sprout legs and they start running around the level, so they become really annoying to pick up. I think I'm going to do that. That would be also a really interesting one. Health globes spawn legs and run around. Why not coins too? That might be a little bit too much because I have to be considerate of the pathfinding. Pathfinding is a little bit expensive. So if there's 25 coins on the floor and they're all doing pathfinding, that could be potentially... that could have a negative impact. Plus, I mean, I think part of the novelty is that like the health globe will unexpectedly get up and start running. And also, health globes are more important than runes and gold because like if you're taking a lot of damage and you really need a health globe and then you find out that it's running around the level, like that's going to be especially annoying. So I think I'll just keep it to the health globes for sure. I'm in development hell right now, so trying to add hours to my daily development. Yeah, I've been there. GUNFORGED was there at one point. Yeah, sometimes you just hit those design problems that are just like, they seem intractable sometimes. It's not fun, but yeah, you just gotta work through it, really, that's all. Wishlist the game, the link is below. Helps a lot bring visibility on Steam. Thank you, Hawk Dev, yeah. Hawk Game Dev. All right, well, I am getting rather hungry. We're not quite at 3 hours. We're 5 minutes shy of 3 hours, but that's fine. I'm gonna commit this. Let's see. Drop gold madness. So made a really good progress, though. I'm very happy with how the system is shaping up. I do think that I might be able to have it done today. So I'm just going to spend the rest of the day. I'm going to take a break, obviously. I'm going to spend the rest of the day working on this, though. So yeah. Thanks all for watching. I very much appreciate that. Thank you all for chatting as well. And thank you, too, to the lurkers and the VOD watchers out there. I know you're out there. I very much appreciate your support as well. And again, please check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways you can support me. The most important thing is wishlist GUNFORGED if you're interested in it, so you can buy it 2 weeks from today when it releases. Otherwise, I have 2 Udemy courses teaching you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine. One is GD script and one is C#. So if that's something that you're interested in, please check that out as well. That's the main way that I'm making all my income as a full-time indie dev right now. Hopefully that will change with GUNFORGED, but there's always a risk that that won't happen. So purchasing the courses is a great way to provide financial support for me, and also kickstart your Godot learning journey. So long sessions of work are great. Yeah. All right. Thanks again, everyone. And I hope you all have a good day. I will see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. All right. Bye-bye.